I know that you're working with coaching and you're helping leaders to evolve in their leadership.
Yes.
So when we touch upon these inclusive behaviors, because this topic is very interesting, because every time when I ask people to give examples, like share the example of behavior, because usually we refer to our feelings, right? So how this or that makes us feel, and then what could be the example of inclusive behavior, and how actually you help leaders to pay attention to that in your coaching?
In my experience and what we do with leaders, we start with awareness. The first step in changing anything, and we're trying to change a behavior, right? And we're trying to implement a new mindset to develop a new behavior, a new habit of thinking and acting. It's awareness, to be aware how we are perceived by other people, how our actions and words influence other people, and how they impact them. And so we start with awareness and really helping the leader through our assessments and also through getting 360 degree feedback from their teams to understand how they're perceived. Does your team perceive you as being kind and soft, and they trust you to come to you and actually give you that feedback? Or do they perceive you as someone that maybe you're more directive and you give more directions rather than asking questions? Do they feel that you really want them to participate in the decision making, or do they feel that you're more like imposing your decisions? So it starts with awareness. And then when we look at examples, like if you like that example, another one will be, for example, many organizations says our official language is English, but most of the small meetings are happening in the local language. Is that right? Yeah.
Totally
So
can relate to that.
yeah. And I've been in organizations that I really appreciated when I was the only non-Swedish speaking person, and everyone actually spoke actually English because of me, and I really appreciated that. And so this speaking the language that everyone understands, uh, explaining a joke. If you are, a local team, and now we can use the example of Sweden, but it doesn't matter where your team is located. You have some jokes in English that we non-native English speaker will not understand. So if you know that someone on your team is not native, English speaker, maybe you want to explain that. If you feel that they have not got the joke, maybe you want to explain it, or even avoid the joke, not knowing how that will be perceived. Um, Being aware of, for example, what's going on in their culture. So someone being of another religion or from another background, and maybe they celebrate something, and it's very important. Like, for example, midsummer for Swedes is the most important celebration of the year, right? You cannot
Mhm.
just ignore that. But at the same time, for someone like me, I'm an Orthodox. Easter, it's important for us, right? So we celebrate Easter. It's not a big deal for Swedes to celebrate Easter. So if I'm a leader and I know, or I'm a team member and I know someone is of a different background, different religion, and Easter is important, maybe I'm more open and more flexible when they need some time off when it's not the Swedish Easter, because usually the Orthodox Easter is 1 week before or after, right? So all of these little things add up and create that feeling of inclusion and belonging.